let's try this again. Okay, no updates found. Okay, can you guys see my screen? Can you guys see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, so here we go.
It's really blurry though. I don't know.
And that's the thing,
It was blurry for me and it just went back to normal resolution.
It just clicked in. It might be my internet. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna switch from hardwire to Wi-Fi. Maybe my internet cable is not good. Here we go. Okay, can you guys hear me okay still? Everything good? Okay, can you see me typing? Can you see that, the letters?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, let's hopefully this might work. Okay, so it might have been my cable, I don't know what it is. Okay, so basically what's happening, what we're looking at here is this, okay? You guys see these fours? This is what we would call a 3x3 matrix, okay? This is a 3x3 matrix, okay? By the way, I'm recording, correct? Okay, good. All right. Now, if I were to do this, okay, this would be a 3x4 matrix, okay? When we're dealing with matrices, okay, we refer to them as row major order 2D arrays, okay? Now, what does that mean? Row major basically means you fill out all the columns in a row before you get to the next one, okay? Now, in your free response or on a multiple choice question, you might be required to go like this. You might be required to go like this. Okay? You might be required to go like this. Boom, 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 okay? You might be required to do all of those, okay? The one thing you will not be required to do is go up and down. That would be what's called column major order, okay? You are not required to do that, okay? We are sticking only to row major order, okay? So if we review regular arrays, okay? The minute, guys, the minute that you see my screen freeze, I don't care if I'm literally in the middle of like, okay, I don't care if I'm right in the middle of talking, you let me know ASAP, okay? So now we have row major order 2D array. So let's just say I say int array A equals new int 5, okay? So right now we have an array of 5 integers, okay? And if I just said for int A equals, or sorry, int I equals 0, I is less than, and I plus plus, and then I say A index I equals 6. What I have just done is I have filled out an array, which is basically a single row with of 5 variables with the number 6. Think of a 2D array as an array of arrays. Now, one thing I want to get off the bat right away. In your book, there's a section called ragged arrays. Skip it completely. You can read on it if you want to. They're not tested. Nobody uses them. It's just more theory. Skip it. Understood? Ragged arrays, just overlook it. Understood? Okay, now let's go into 2D arrays. We're all good with arrays. Does everybody give me a thumbs up? Okay, all right, perfect. All right, so 2D arrays. Now 2D arrays are very similar. Int array B equals new int. And I'm going to right now say 3 by 3. What I've just done is I've created a two-dimensional array. 3 rows by 3 columns for a total of how many elements?
9.
9. Okay, very good. All right. Now, something that when we're referencing these arrays, come on, where is it? Okay, here we go. Annotate. Okay, so let's take a look. All right. Now, this is my box. Okay, so 0, 0, 0, 0. Oh, sorry, guys. It's terrible. I know. I'm sorry. I'm not really the best with graphics. Okay, imagine these are all zeros. Okay, now we have 9 elements. The way that we always refer to an element by the row first, the row number first, then the column number. Okay, so this is a box, and these were split up almost like a tic-tac-toe board. Okay, this would be column 0, column 1, column 2. This would be row 0, row 1, row 2. So if I'm referring to the element in 2, 1, I would go down to second row to this element right here. Okay. This is how the indices work. Okay. The top left is always going to be 0, 0. Okay. The first element in a row is 0. The first element in a column is also 0. You can't have negative array items. Does that make sense? Okay, I'm going to clear my wonderful drawing. Okay. All right. So now what we're going to do, we're going to go back. Okay. So there is an on-the-fly way to initialize this. That's in your book. You guys read that. You will be required to know how it's done. You won't be required how to write it. More just multiple choices. Okay. But you will need to know how to fill out this 2D array. Okay. And the way we do that, always initializing a 2D array, nested for loops. Always. Okay. Now on the AP, on the free response, you will always have one question that asks you to cycle through an array, or maybe even cycle through a string, which is basically an array of letters. You will always have something that's going to ask you to cycle through a 2D array. Always. Okay, so let's initialize first. For int r equals 0. Why do you think I used r? Anyone?
Rows.
Bingo, Benny, you're on fire. Way to come to class prepared. Okay, int r equals 0. Okay, r is less than b dot length r plus plus. Okay, now nested for loop. Right away, we're going to go straight into the int c equals 0. Isis, what do you think c stands for?
Column.
Columns. Very good. Okay, now in columns, this is where the salient feature as graders that we are looking for, that a lot of people screw up because they just forget it, but it's if it's embedded into you and you practice enough, you won't forget this. Okay, so I have int c equals 0. We can't say c is less than b dot length. The way that we refer to columns is c is less than b index 0 dot length. B index 0 dot length. But when you are saying b index 0, basically what you are referring to is the first row's length. We are not dealing with ragged arrays. So every length of every other row will be the same. Is that understood? Okay. And then C++. Okay. Now, the way I do this, or just giving you guys a heads up, so array name index 0 dot length. Okay, is the column. Okay, array name index 0 dot length. Do not forget the index 0. Literally, you could do everything right, and this will just cost you a point that you could have easily gotten. It only applies to the columns. Okay. So that being said, now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put random numbers in. Okay, numbers just from 1 through 100. So the way that I do that is I say B, index R, index C. Now let's talk about this. RC. What do we know about the rules for an inner for loop as opposed to an outer for loop? Alan, what do we know about that?
It'll cycle through the inner for loop
Mm-hmm.
all the way through for each cycle of the outer loop.
Bingo. Bingo. She's exactly right. You have to complete the inner for loop before you can go back to the outer. So right now, row is 0. So, okay. Then we immediately go into here. C is 0. Okay. So we go in, C is less than length. B, 0, 0. Then we increase 1. B, 0, 1. B, 0, 2. 3 is not less than 3. Goes back out. Now we're at 1. This resets. 1, index 0. 1, 1, 1, 2. This goes to 2, 2, 0, 2, 1, 2, 2. Okay. So I'm going to just put in math.random times 100. Okay. So what this is going to do is right now I have an array, okay, with 9 random numbers between 1 and 100. Okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to just print them out. The index R, index C, plus. Okay, so if I run this now, take a look. Okay, random number there. Random, more random numbers, random numbers, random numbers, random numbers. Okay. All right. Okay. Now, if I wanted to actually kind of see what this array would actually look like, I can go just outside of my for loop. Just add an empty print line. 5167. Okay, this will work for any array size. Okay. Boom. Okay, so if I raise this up, okay, et cetera, et cetera. Okay. Now, again, this is done in what we call row major order. Row major order. Okay. Now, does anybody, we have the time, everyone, okay? Does anybody have any questions?
Where does,
yeah.
I was gonna ask, where does the C reset?
It's an inner for loop, rules of the inner for loop. It always resets. After it cycles down, when you get to it again, the inner for loop always resets.
Okay.
For the system.out.print to get the matrix in the console,
Yeah.
does it, you have it in the main for loop?
Yep,
Can
I
it go outside?
have it in the outer for loop, yeah.
Yeah, that's the only place it can go, right?
Yeah, and here's why. Because if I do this, it's just gonna string it because yeah, so that's just, yeah, I mean, that's it. Now, granted, you won't ever be asked to print out what it looks like in a structure. I do this just so you guys can understand, okay, graphically, this is what my box looks like. Does it make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, that's all I want, guys. That's all I need. I want you guys to make sure, okay? All right. So any other questions? Again, we're going to go a little more into this. We'll spend a little bit more time practicing 2D arrays this week, big time, because this is really crucial to know. Anyone? Okay.
Wait,
Yeah,
I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Can you use the array like package if you import it with the 2D arrays?
Like
to sort and binary search, all of those.
Oh yeah, I believe so. I haven't ever done it with 2D arrays, but I mean, if I do arrays.sort, and I do B, I believe this should do it. Let me import it real quick. Yeah, I believe it does work. Okay, does it? Or does this not work for 2D arrays? I just did it. I believe it does. So for example, we have our standard 2D array, and then if I were to just copy this and get rid of this, I believe it should work. You know what? It does not work for a 2D array. I'm not sure though. I'm not sure if that's correct or not. I'm not 100% sure if that's correct. Okay. All right. So yeah, I'm not sure. Okay. For right now, let's go with no, but yeah, hold on, let me see something real quick. Command B, oops, Command C. Yeah, these are all local. We shouldn't have any issues. Yeah, I mean, this is the same way. If you take a look, this is the same way to cycle through it and read it. So like, even if I were to just get rid of this, we're not going to get any errors because it's the same way. Okay, it's just reading it. Okay. Right now, I don't think it works. Double check. I have a feeling that if I recall, I think there's something in the book specifically regarding sort. So take a look at it. Okay. All right. Now, your class assignment for right now. Okay. What I want you guys to work on in class. Now, if you need time to work on this for homework, you can. You already have your homework assignment separate. It's already online. Okay. So that being said, right now, what I'm going to do is, okay, does anybody need this anymore? Can I delete this? Are we good? Okay, so what I'm going to do, this, bye-bye. Okay, so your assignment, okay, let's say, for example, ask the user for a name. Okay, just first name. Right now, only first name. Okay, you will have a 2 by 3 array. Okay. And what I want you to do is store one letter in each index. Okay. So for example, let's say the name was Nancy. Okay. Your 2D array is going to look like, or let's say Josephina, okay? So basically this is 2 rows, 3 columns. This is going to look like J, O, S, E, P, H. Fill it up until there's, and basically, when you have it all filled, shouldn't work, okay? Or you should be okay. However, if the name is shorter than the allotted amount, so for example, let's say my name, okay, then it should look like this. What I want you to do is, if you run out of indices, or you run out of letters, fill up the rest of the array with letters. Okay, there's multiple ways to do this. Okay, so does anybody have any question? Now, again, this should work for no matter what size array I use. Okay, now what type of 2D array am I going to probably need? A string 2D array. Okay, let's get into the habit of using strings. Do not use characters. Okay, all right. So that is what your classwork assignment is right now. So I want you guys to try working on that right now for the next 5 minutes. Okay. So you're going to need the scanner class, et cetera, et cetera. Okay. You're going to ask Caesar for a name. This needs, if you don't finish it in time, that's great. If you want to finish it with your homework, you can. It's going to be due before the first 5 minutes of class tomorrow. Okay. And again, there's multiple ways that we can do this. Okay, all right, that seemed to be better when I switched to Wi-Fi. That was interesting. Okay, anybody have any questions? Again, this is your classwork. Welcome back, guys. Again, I'm going to be a little bit more heavy on the free response this year. So we'll probably go 10 multiple choice questions. I was so happy with you guys, the way that you guys did on the final. Okay, and again, remember, guys, we got 5 months. We have 2 things working in our favor. 1, 5 months. 2, they've made the test easier. Okay, so that works in your favor. I feel bad for next year's class because the test will probably be harder. Okay, so you guys are getting off lucky. All right, anybody have any questions regarding 2D arrays? What is it called? The way that we fill them out.
Row major order.
Row major. When it goes this way, it is
Column major.
column major order. Very good. Okay. And how do I refer to the column length? How do I refer to the column length?
Name of 0 dot length.
Bingo. Array name index 0 dot length. Okay. These are just little rules. Always, always, always use nested for loops. Always, no matter what. Okay, we're going to be doing a lot of in-class examples. We may spend this whole week just on 2D arrays, okay, just to make sure that you guys have this down. Understood? All right, and again, we will be covering arrays as well. Always just keep in mind, a safe way to look at it is a 2D array is an array of arrays, okay? Something that I have not gotten in a while, arrays. See what I did there? The play of words, guys. See with the numbers and the fun. Oh, you guys are come on, guys. All right, so good luck. Oh, by the way, quick question. Hold on. Okay, so that's class